Hey all, it is Mr. Fontaine, and today I'm going to show you how to use text in GameLab. So you'll find text under the Drawing tab, which is the light blue tab. And the text block is the one that doesn't say, these text ones are useful, but the one that actually type text is the one that says text. This is going to be your X coordinate, so how far it is right and left. I'm going to set that to 100. This is going to be your Y coordinate, which is how far up and down it is. I'm also going to set that to 100. That'll mean the text ends up somewhere around here. This, where it says text, in the quotation marks, you're going to type out whatever you want to write. So I'm going to say hello class. And as you can see, that is now shown up here. Now, the first thing you're probably going to want to change is the size. So over here, you'll see a block that says text size. And we want to set that to something bigger. So I'm going to set it to 70. Now, one really important thing is that any modifications you make to the text, and a modification is just changing the size, changing the color, changing the font, all those things, you have to put the block above text. If you put it below text, nothing happens. So you have to put it above, and we can see that the text is now really big. And I'm actually going to move it a little bit further to the right so we can see it all. There we go. Now, the next thing you can change is obviously color. And to change that, you're going to want to hit fill. And fill will change the color. Right now it's gray. Let's say I want it black. It can be black, it can be white, it can be yellow, it can be any color that you feel like would look good. And that's how you change the color. It is the block that says fill. The next thing you could do is change the font. So let's say I don't like that it's Arial and I want to change it to another font. All you have to do is type in the name of that font. Now, GameLab doesn't have every font, but it has most of them. So I'm going to change it to Calibri. And you can see now that looks a lot different. So text size, those are the main ones you're going to be using. You can also do something called stroke, which is like, let's say you want to outline the text. And you can see there's a little yellow outline. I'm going to make it a little thicker so you can see it. Now there's a yellow outline. So if you want to outline it, it is stroke, but that's not as important. Now, what is important, again, number one, is that anything you do to the text has to come before you make the text, right? Because if you go fill it like after you already make the text, it doesn't work, right? So it has to come at the end, your text block. Another very important thing is that the text block, if you are working with a draw loop or if you're working with sprites, has to be at the very end of the draw block so that it doesn't get covered up by the sprites, right? Click on the present for surprise. If I were to go and move that, let's say above the draw sprites, it doesn't work, right? It'll get covered by the sprites. And it especially won't work if you drag it above the background. Like, it definitely doesn't work. So make sure, again, text at the bottom of your draw loop if you're using a draw loop, and everything should be fine.